Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be taking you through the day's biggest news stories from across India and the world. Our top story tonight, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday inaugurated the first ever undersea optical fibre project for Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It will provide high-speed broadband connections in the Union Territory at par with services in the mainland. In a major boost to telecom services in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday dedicated to the country the first ever undersea optical fibre cable connecting Chennai and Port Blair. Implemented at a cost of 1,224 crore rupees, the project will ensure high-speed broadband connectivity for the Union Territory. The project will give a boost to 4G mobile services and digital services like tele-education, tele-health, e-governance and tourism on the islands. Speaking at the event, the Prime Minister said the project is a symbol of his government's commitment towards ease of living.
देश और दुनिया से जोड़ने वाला ये ऑप्टिकल फाइबर प्रोजेक्ट ईज ऑफ लिविंग के प्रति हमारी प्रतिबद्धता का प्रतीक है। अब अंडमान निकोबार के लोगों को भी मोबाइल कनेक्टिविटी और तेज इंटरनेट की वही सस्ती और अच्छी सुविधाएं मिल पाएगी जिसके लिए आज पूरी दुनिया में भारत अग्रणी है। अब अंडमान निकोबार के लोगों को, बहनों को, बच्चों को, युवाओं को, व्यापारियों, कारोबारियों को भी डिजिटल इंडिया के वो सभी लाभ मिल पाएंगे जो बाकी देश के लोगों को मिलते आ रहे हैं। ऑनलाइन पढ़ाई हो, टूरिज्म से कमाई की बात हो, बैंकिंग ऑपरेशंस हो, शॉपिंग हो या टेलीमेडिसिन दवाइयां हो, अब अंडमान निकोबार के हजारों परिवार को भी ये ऑनलाइन व्यवस्थाएं मिल पाएगी।
The Prime Minister emphasized that the undersea cable linking Andaman Islands with Chennai was laid in a record time of less than 24 months despite the difficult situation. He said thousands of families in the Union Territory will now be able to access education, banking, shopping or telemedicine online. Besides, tourists will also get huge benefit from the optical fibre facility. He also stressed on the increased importance and significance of Andaman and Nicobar Islands in India's Act East policy.
इंडो पैसिफिक में व्यापार, कारोबार और सहयोग की नई नीति और रीति पर चल रहा है, तब अंडमान निकोबार सहित हमारे तमाम द्वीपों का महत्व और अधिक बढ़ गया है। एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी के तहत पूर्वी एशियाई देशों और समंदर से जुड़े दूसरे देशों के साथ भारत के मजबूत होते रिश्तों में अंडमान निकोबार की भूमिका बहुत अधिक है और ये निरंतर बढ़ने वाली है। नए भारत में अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह की इसी भूमिका को मजबूत करने के लिए 3 साल पहले आइलैंड डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी का गठन किया गया था। आज आप देख रहे हैं कि अंडमान निकोबार में जो प्रोजेक्ट बरसों बरस पूरे नहीं होते थे, वो अब तेजी से कंप्लीट हो रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also informed that high-impact projects are being expanded in 12 islands of Andaman and Nicobar. In addition to mobile and internet connectivity, road, air and water connectivity are also being strengthened. He referred to the work on 2 major bridges at the NH4 in order to improve the road connectivity of North and Middle Andaman. He also said the Port Blair Airport is being enhanced to handle a capacity of 1,200 passengers, and the airports are ready for operations in Diglipur, Car Nicobar and Campbell Bay. Construction of deep draft inner harbour at East Coast is also going on at high speed. The Prime Minister asserted that as India moves forward with the resolve of self-sufficiency and establishes itself as an important player in the global supply and value chain, it is important to strengthen our network of waterways and our ports. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Vice President M Venkaiah Naidu completes 3 years in office on Tuesday. He was sworn in as the 13th Vice President of India on 11th August 2017.
Venkaiah Naidu is a vastly experienced leader, respected across the political line for his simplicity and deep knowledge of parliamentary affairs. He stands out due to his better understanding of the most pressing problems of the country related to youth, farmers, students, etc. In the last 3 years, Vice President Naidu has delivered over 300 lectures, attended 70 convocation ceremonies and released 71 books. He also participated in over 800 events, including 72 award ceremonies. The Vice President visited over 250 institutions and interacted with students from almost all states. He also wrote over 300 articles in various publications on language, culture, agriculture, and parliamentary democracy. Apart from this, he also regularly expresses his views on current issues on his social media handles like Twitter and Facebook. Recently, he launched India's first official social media super app, Elements. The Vice President visited 21 countries in the last 3 years and interacted with world leaders and also addressed the Indian diaspora in the countries he visited. Naidu also introduced changes for effective functioning of the Rajya Sabha, including improving the productivity of the upper house of Parliament. Besides this, the Vice President also effectively used the time during the coronavirus pandemic and forced lockdown and embarked on Mission Connect to inquire about the well-being of his friends, teachers, long-time associates, acquaintances, old and new, relatives, MPs, spiritual leaders and journalists, among others. He telephonically interacted with chief ministers, governors, leaders of various political parties in both houses of parliament and all MPs of the Rajya Sabha. A book chronicling the third year in office of Vice President M Venkaiah Naidu, titled Connecting, Communicating, Changing, will be released by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in Delhi on Tuesday. The electronic version of the book will be launched by Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar on the same day. The book, which runs into more than 250 pages, has been brought out by the Publications Divisions of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The book captures, through words and pictures, the different activities of the Vice President, including the travels in India and abroad. It provides a glimpse of his interactions with farmers, scientists, doctors, youth, administrators, industry leaders and artists, among others.
Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman M Venkaiah Naidu on Monday laid the foundation stone for a 46 crore rupees housing complex for Rajya Sabha employees at RK Puram in Delhi. Addressing the gathering via video conferencing, the Vice President expressed concern over the delay in putting the prime land to use, as it was allotted to the Secretariat in 2003. He said that the long period of 17 years taken for launching the housing project has resulted in avoidable costs for the Secretariat. The Vice President pointed out that if the 8,700 square meters of land allotted for the Rajya Sabha Secretariat in 2003 had been put to use in time, the Secretariat could have benefited significantly in the form of house rent allowance, besides recovering a substantial portion of the investment in the housing project by now.
The complexities involved in putting a big parcel of prime land in the national capital for intended use, resulting in non-utilization of such precious resource over a long period of time, 17 years. The Urban Development Ministry was kind enough, prompt enough, once they received a request from Rajya Sabha Secretariat for a housing complex for its employees, and they allotted it, and the Rajya Sabha Secretariat initially has paid 1.25 crores for the land. Now I am glad that the Urban Affairs Ministry is focusing its attention, and the UD Ministry has taken initiative to impress upon the NBCC to prepare the estimate, and also now steps are being taken for this purpose. The UD Ministry, Mukherjee, can only allocate the land, but the remaining work has to be done by various other agencies, as I explained.
Addressing the occasion, Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri assured that though the NBCC has indicated a 3-year period for the completion of the housing complex, all efforts will be made to complete the project ahead of time.
It's going to be a quick job. I think that NBCC has indicated a 3-year period because certain other clearances, but I can say on authority we will do it earlier.
Secretary General of Rajya Sabha, Deep Verma, and senior officials of Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry as well as the Rajya Sabha Secretariat were present on the occasion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Human Resource Development met on Monday.
The committee discussed preparedness of school, higher and technical education sectors during the ongoing pandemic. Department of Higher Education Secretary Amit Khar and Department of School Education and Literacy Secretary Anita Karwal made presentations before the committee. The Director of NCERT, Dr. Rishikesh Senapati, and CBSE Chairman Manoj Ahuja also apprised the committee about the current challenges and preparedness. The committee is headed by BJP MP Vinay Sahasrabudhe. 17 MPs were present at the meeting, including new members, including Bhuvneshwar Kalita, G.K. Vasan and Jyotiraditya Scindia.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh launched the Atmanirbhar Bharat Sapta on Monday. The move is aimed at promoting Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for a self-reliant India with increased focus on local manufacturing.
While attending the inaugural session of Atmanirbhar Saptah, Rajnath Singh said all activities in this week will be to promote indigenous defence production. The minister pressed that being self-reliant in the defence sector can be beneficial not only for defence but also for civil society. The minister said that relying on the strengths of others can never build one's confidence. He reiterated Prime Minister Modi's suggestion of 5 I's, that is, intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure and innovation. He said, if we are able to manufacture all our equipment in our country, then we can save a large part of the country's capital, which can then be used to promote more than 7,000 MSMEs associated with India's defence industry.
And taking a step towards self-reliance in the defence sector, the Department of Military Affairs has prepared a list of 101 items for which there would be an import embargo beyond the timeline indicated against them.
The embargo on imports is planned to be progressively implemented between 2020 to 2024. The list was prepared by the Ministry of Defence after several consultations with all stakeholders to assess the current and future capabilities of the Indian industry for manufacturing various ammunition, weapons, platforms and equipment within India. All necessary steps would be taken by the Defence Ministry to ensure that timelines for production of equipment as per the negative import list are met, which will include a coordinated mechanism for hand-holding of the industry by the defence services. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said the decision will offer a great opportunity to the Indian defence industry to manufacture the items in the negative list by using their own design and development capabilities.
And talking about the COVID-19 situation in the country, coronavirus cases crossed 22 lakh in India after over 60,000 cases were reported in the last 24 hours. For 4 days now, COVID-19 cases in India have risen by more than 60,000. However, the good thing is that the recovery rate is also improving steadily. It is now nearly 70%.
COVID-19 infections in India crossed 22 lakh on Monday, with 62,064 new cases reported. While recoveries crossed 15,35,000, the highest ever, 54,859 of them in the past 24 hours alone. Active cases now stand at 6,34,000, while the recovery rate has gone up to 69.33%. 1,007 patients succumbed to the coronavirus infection in the last 24 hours, taking the overall death toll to 44,386, the 5th highest in the world. Over 4,77,000 samples were tested on Sunday, taking the total to 2 crore 45 lakh. India is testing 16,510 samples per million, but needs to test more to reduce the test positivity rate to WHO approved below 5%. The country's current TPR is 9.2%. While infection is spreading to smaller states, COVID-19 still remains concentrated in 10 states that contribute more than 80% of the new cases. Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu reported the maximum new cases on Sunday. Smaller states like Telangana, Puducherry, Manipur, Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh are reporting increase in cases based on 7-day moving average. With nearly 30,000 new COVID-19 cases and over 330 deaths linked to the virus recorded in the past 7 days, last week saw the highest jump in infection as well as fatalities in Uttar Pradesh. Sunday added 4,687 new cases and 45 deaths, taking the state's total count to over 1,22,000. The state has the 6th highest number of cases in the country now and accounts for 5.5% of the total cases. Of the 1,007 deaths reported on Sunday, 390 came from Maharashtra, but 260 of these were from the previous 2 days and the remaining were unreported from the last 1 week. India ranks much lower when deaths per million population is considered. Globally, there have been 94 deaths per million population due to the disease till now. In India, this number is just 32, with at least 90 other countries registering more deaths per million population. The case fatality rate has also declined to its lowest so far at 2%. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And former President Pranab Mukherjee has tested positive for COVID-19.
The former president shared this information on Twitter and requested people who recently came in contact with him to get their COVID-19 test done. Mandeep Singh became the 6th national hockey player to test positive for coronavirus ahead of the national camp in Bengaluru, the Sports Authority of India said in a statement on Monday. Singh is being treated along with 5 other players, including captain Manpreet Singh. Meanwhile, Mumbai's civic body has started the second phase of sero-surveillance study in the city to assess the spread of COVID-19. The survey will cover Dadar, Matunga, Dharavi, Deonar, Govandi and Dahisar wards. The centre has asked states to prioritise processing of claims under the 50 lakh rupees insurance scheme for frontline healthcare workers engaged in COVID-19 duties, as the cover is available till September. The centre has also directed states to ensure equitable distribution of PPE kits among healthcare workers. Over 350 Delhi police personnel who will be a part of the Guard of Honour at Red Fort on Independence Day have been quarantined as a precautionary measure. These personnel have been quarantined at a newly built police colony in Delhi Cant.
Worldwide, the novel coronavirus cases have crossed 20 million and claimed over 7,30,000 lives.
The pandemic situation continued to worsen in the United States, which has over 5 million cases and nearly 1.65 lakh deaths. President Donald Trump has signed executive orders for a coronavirus stimulus package. The orders intend to provide economic relief to vulnerable groups, including extended unemployment benefits, temporary suspension of payroll tax collection, protecting evictions from rental housing, among others. COVID-19 infections in Latin America crossed 5.5 million on Monday, with 3.03 million cases in Brazil alone. In Argentina, over 2.46 lakh people have tested positive for the virus, while 4,606 have died from the disease so far. Chile has begun to gradually lift restrictions in most places, following a drop in new cases. However, areas reporting fresh cases remain under quarantine. South Korea reported 28 new cases on the day, taking the total number of infections to 14,626. Nepal hospitals are facing shortage of beds, ventilators amid rising coronavirus cases. It has reported 22,972 infections with 75 deaths. Australia's Victoria State reported a record daily rise in COVID-19 deaths on Monday. 19 people died from the virus, while 322 new cases were registered in the state. New Zealand marked 100 days without domestic virus transmission on Sunday, but warned against complacency. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is asking countries to join its COVAX facility. The initiative intends to guarantee fast and equitable global access to COVID-19 vaccines. It aims to deliver 2 billion vaccine doses by the end of 2021. Meanwhile, Russia is going ahead with its plan to register the world's first COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the 1 lakh crore rupee Agriculture Infrastructure Fund to boost post-harvest management and marketing of agricultural produce. The push for the agri-sector came as part of the overall scheme to boost the economy.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday launched a financing facility of 1 lakh crore rupees under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund for agri-entrepreneurs, startups, agri-tech players and farmer groups for post-harvest management and nurturing farm assets. Making the announcement, Prime Minister Modi said the scheme will provide a financial boost to farmers and the agriculture sector and increase India's ability to compete on the global stage.
देश में कृषि से जुड़ी सुविधाएं तैयार करने के लिए 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का विशेष फंड लॉन्च किया गया।
Under the scheme, farmer-producer organization schemes, self-help groups and agri-entrepreneurs can take loans to build infrastructure for post-harvest management and community farming assets like cold storage, collection centers and processing units. The scheme, which has already been cleared by the cabinet, will be implemented from this month. The duration of the scheme will be 10 years till 2029.
देश की ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था में एक अभूतपूर्व क्रांति आने की उम्मीद है, क्योंकि प्रायः ये देखा गया था कि किसानों के अपने उत्पाद को रखने में, उसके प्रसंस्करण में, उसके वैल्यू एडिशन में बहुत दिक्कत होती थी, जो अब उम्मीद है कि नहीं होगी, क्योंकि विशेषज्ञों के अनुसार करीब 95,000 करोड़ रुपए की इन्वेस्टमेंट की जरूरत थी और सरकार ने इससे आगे बढ़ के 1 लाख करोड़ इन्वेस्टमेंट का प्रावधान किया है।
Only 30 days after the cabinet formally approved the scheme, the first sanction of over 1,000 crore rupees was made to over 2,280 farmers' societies at the event. During the event, the Prime Minister also transferred 17,100 crore rupees to more than 8.5 crore farmers under the PM Kisan Direct Income Assistance Scheme. The objective of the new Agri-Infra Fund is to provide medium to long-range debt financing for setting up of post-harvest infrastructure and community assets for marketing of farm produce. The fund was approved by the Union Cabinet last month as part of the over 20 lakh crore rupees stimulus package announced in response to the COVID-19 crisis, while PM Kisan is an ongoing scheme being implemented since 2018. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
More than 500 people and 100 elephants die every year due to conflict with each other. Releasing the figures ahead of World Elephant Day on the 12th of August, Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said on Monday that interactions between humans and elephants have led to the death of both.
Addressing an event, Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said, as per the last census conducted in 2017, India is home to 30,000 elephants. He said elephant conservation is vital as it balances the ecosystem. Javadekar also released a booklet on best practices of human-elephant conflict management and launched the national portal of Project Elephant, which will have all the data and details of elephant movements.
Water augmentation in jungle areas, ये बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम लिया है और उस कार्यक्रम में अब इस बार लाइडर टेक्नोलॉजी का भी उपयोग कर रहे हैं, लाइडर सर्वे भी कर रहे हैं और इस साल जो दिसंबर के बाद काम होगा सर्वे के बाद, उसके सहारे अगले साल से जंगलों में पानी, घास और खाद्य बहुत अच्छे मात्रा में पैदा होगा, ये मुझे पूरा विश्वास है।
The Supreme Court of India has adjourned the hearing on UGC final year examination case till the 14th of August.
The Apex Court was hearing a batch of pleas which have challenged the UGC's 6th of July directive to all universities and colleges to conduct final year university examinations by 30th of September amid the COVID-19 pandemic. During the hearing on Monday, the UGC questioned the decisions of the Delhi and Maharashtra governments to cancel final year examinations of state universities amid the coronavirus pandemic, saying that they were against the rules. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the UGC, told the Supreme Court bench that the states cannot change the rules as only the UGC is empowered to prescribe rules for conferring degree. He further said that students must continue to prepare for the examinations, adding that if exams are not conducted, students cannot get a degree, and that's the law. The court, while giving Mehta time to file response to the affidavits filed by Delhi and Maharashtra state governments, has also asked him to clarify if the Disaster Management Act, under which the states claim to have cancelled the final year examinations, can override the notification of the UGC. The UGC would be presenting the complete case in the next hearing on Friday.
And the Apex Court said on Monday that it will go ahead with the contempt of court proceedings against senior lawyer Prashant Bhushan in the 2009 case over his interview to Tehelka magazine.
Refusing to accept the regret offered by Bhushan in a written statement to the top court, a three-judge bench headed by Justice Arun Mishra posted the matter for hearing on 17th of August. The judges said there was a thin line between free speech and contempt, and they seek to balance the right to free speech on one hand and the need to protect the dignity of the judiciary as an institution on the other. In a statement in the previous hearing on Tuesday, Bhushan had expressed regret, saying that his allegation on corruption did not refer to financial corruption but lack of propriety, and if his statement hurt judges or their families, he regrets it. However, the court has refused to accept his regret. The top court had issued contempt notice to Bhushan and Tarun Tejpal in November 2009 for allegedly casting aspersions on some sitting and former top court judges in an interview for Tehelka magazine. In another case on 22nd of July, the same bench had issued suo motu notice to Bhushan for his remarks and 2 tweets against the judiciary.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a virtual meeting with chief ministers of 6 states on Monday to review the flood situation. The states that attended the meeting were Assam, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Kerala.
In the meeting, the Prime Minister emphasized on extensive use of innovative technologies for improving forecast and warning systems. He also stressed on better coordination between all central and state agencies to have a permanent system for flood forecast. Meanwhile, the death toll in the landslide in Rajamalai in Idukki district of Kerala has risen to 49. Rescue and relief operations are underway amidst heavy rain. The India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert for Kasaragod, Kannur, Wayanad, Kozhikode, Malappuram and Alappuzha districts. Meanwhile, in Karnataka, 52 areas have been affected by floods and 14 areas witnessed landslides. The coastal districts of the state, some northern districts and Kodagu have been badly affected by thunderstorms. The flood situation in Bihar also remains grim, with the number of affected people rising to 74 lakh, while deaths caused due to the deluge stood at 23. 16 districts of the state are affected by floods caused by several rivers in spate. Darbhanga is the worst hit district, accounting for 9 casualties and having 20 lakh of its residents affected.
And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you very much for your time. Take good care of yourselves and your families.